Hi and welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to be talking about when to submit your annual accounts for your community interest company, what to submit and why so many people get this wrong and how you can get in trouble and get fined. So stay prepared, watch this video till the end so you know exactly what you need to do with your CIC annual accounts. So before I get into that, please hit the subscribe button for everything to do with community interest companies and grant funding, social enterprises and all of that. So I try to make sure this channel delivers loads of good, useful, free tips for everybody. I know that it's been an absolute lifesaver for so many of you. You tell me that all of the time. So please show your appreciation by hitting the subscribe button, and also do write any comments or any other video ideas of things that might help you. If you're interested in setting up a CIC, do go over to my website where I've got a course, how to set up CIC and get grant funded in 4 months. It's my flagship course. Over 500 people have done it. So go over there and grab that. It's only £99. So all that aside, let's get into it. So first of all, when do you submit your annual accounts? You might think, well, that's obvious, obviously at the year point. So you actually have a 1 year and then you have like a 9-month window. So first of all, the year isn't the year of April the 5th, which is the end of the financial year. It's not that. It's when you set up your CIC, it's a year from there. So do factor in, make sure you write that date down just so you're prepared. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I don't need to do that straight away because I'll have like 9 months to submit. You want to submit immediately because once you get those first year of accounts in, you will be able to apply for more grant funding and much larger pots of funding as well. So there are some grant funders who prefer to fund after the year mark, although we do lots in the first year. Some of them definitely prefer after the year mark. So it's in your interest to get that done straight away. And every year should work the same because every year you're going to be applying for more grant funding and they're going to want your accounts. So make sure you get those done straight away. Next thing is when do you get your accountant? I would actually sign up for your accountant as soon as you get your CIC open because they're going to be there to advise you on different things. So yeah, you want to get your accountant straight away. Now, make sure you get an accountant that understands CICs. That's really important. I have so many clients who get this wrong and go with people that don't understand CICs, and they end up getting in a whole world of bother. So you don't want to do that. So next is, what do you need to submit? So don't rely heavily on your accountant because, like I said, some of them don't know what they're doing. So you need to know this. You'll need to submit a £15 check or postal order to Companies House. You will have to submit a CIC 34 form. Your accounts will need to go to both HMRC and Companies House. If they don't, you will get a fine. If you don't submit the form, you get a fine. So make sure you do that straight off the jump. Now, some people are tempted to put in dormant accounts so that they don't have to pay as much. Stupid idea. Don't do that. Only submit dormant accounts if your account has literally had no activity whatsoever. Do not submit dormant accounts just for the hell of it. Don't do that just because it's cheaper. You need to submit dormant accounts only if you absolutely have to, if there's been no activity. Otherwise, you need to pay an accountant to do your accounts properly. Don't do it yourself. That'll be a huge mistake. You'll end up getting fined, doing stuff wrong. Just pay an accountant to do it. An accountant doesn't cost that much for CIC accounts because generally they don't have a lot of activity. So make sure you shop around and make sure you get a good deal. Just to give you a ballpark figure, I have never paid more than about $250 for my CIC's accounts because they have such little incomings and outgoings. Say you had quite a lot of activity, you still really shouldn't go above 500. If they're charging you more than that, you need to shop around because that is too much. You should never really go much beyond 500-600 max. So make sure you shop around and get a CIC accountant that's fair. There's also quite a few CICs that are accountants out there that then won't charge you VAT and stuff, so it ends up being cheaper. So if you can get a CIC accountant for your CIC, then you may save a little bit of extra money. So do look around. And we have got a link for the CIC marketplace in this link description for this video, and on the marketplace you can see we've got some accountants that we recommend there. Now, one thing you must consider, and you must check that your accountant is doing correctly, is you shouldn't be paying any corporation tax. So you shouldn't be paying corporation tax on grant spending. So say you've got a National Lottery grant fund for 20,000 and that goes over 2 years. So at the end of your accounting year, you're going to have some money left over from that grant, which is going to be, of course, allocated and is budgeted to be spent on the project in the following year. A bad accountant will put that down as profit and charge you corporation tax. Now, that is against grant funding. You can't afford to pay it. You don't have the budget for it. You would get breached by the grant funder. It's a world of hell. So you must make sure, and don't assume the accountant will know. You have to point it out. If you have got money in your account at the end of your accounting year, which is designated for the grant project for the following year, you must tell them to defer it. They'll put it down as money that is being deferred, money for the next year. Make sure they put that down as deferred payment. Make sure they do not classify it as profit, so it will not be subject to corporation tax. That's a really, really important point, and that is the main mistake people make when they go to accountants that don't understand CICs and grant funding. So just to be clear, if you have other money coming in that isn't to do with grant funding, say you're selling t-shirts or selling tickets to an event, you've got that money in your account, just make sure you've spent it all out at the end of the accountant year. Otherwise, yes, that will be classed as profit and you will be charged some corporation tax. Now, it's okay to leave a little bit in and just pay a little bit of corporation tax almost on purpose, because then that would make your CIC look a bit healthier. So that's a good thing. Maybe just leave like 200, 300 in or something, just so there's a little bit in, a few quid in corporation tax, just makes you look like you're a little bit more, a little bit more stable. So that's okay. But you don't want to obviously have yourself stung for like a huge corporation tax bill. So generally speaking, all profits are supposed to be paid out and actually reinvested into the CIC. You're not allowed to really have profits because you're not supposed to be paying yourself. The directors aren't supposed to be taking dividends or shares. So you shouldn't be having profit. So a teeny weeny bit of profit's okay, like say 200, because you could call it like a buffer, but really nothing more than say 200, because after that it should be reinvested into the CIC because you can't use that profit for dividends or shares. So that's really important. So lastly, I would just say make sure you keep all of your records straight. So you want to make sure you get some kind of accounting software. So accounting software like QuickBooks will really help you make sure you keep all of your records and everything in order. It'll also really help you prove your grant funding spending for grant funders. So it's important for that as well. So get QuickBooks, or some bank accounts have something similar attached to them. But really it's great because say you get an invoice or your receipt, you take a photo of it, it goes onto the system. It's lovely. It's all there. And then at the end of the year, you just pull it off and send it to the accountant. You can even give your accountant access to the QuickBooks. That's how good it is. That's fantastic. It'll actually save you money and time. So it's a really good idea to get QuickBooks. Now, some bank accounts do have it incorporated, as I said. So, do have a look, see if your bank offers something similar. So I hope that helps. And if it does, please hit the subscribe button. Do pop in the comments for any questions or if you've got any other ideas for other videos.